We thank God for everything. And we were doing, it's a biblical word study. We study one word at a time, and when we're going to get it, we're just going to keep studying. And we've been on Sabbath and rest and all of that stuff for the past couple of weeks. We looked at a lot of words, a lot of Greek words, a lot of Hebrew words having to do with rest. There's dozens of them, and we're just coming down to the end of some of the definitions. I got a couple more that I want to look at, and we know that Sabbath means rest. We talked about and we studied seven for a couple of weeks, and Sabbath and seven kind of like coincide, but Sabbath actually means rest. It doesn't actually mean seven, and we studied the rest. I'm not going to go through all of that. Genesis 2, and all of that places where God rested on the seventh day and on the Sabbath and all that. But it's all spiritual now, and we're going to get into that too. The difference between the shadow and the very image. In Hebrews, it talks about the shadow and the very image, and we'll hopefully we'll touch on that again today too. But this right now, there's a couple of words here. We got yeah, okay, this is good. 373 actually. Let me go to this other page here. What was it? Number 8. You see, that's why I should put all these in one notebook. But I wanted to get to this. Oh, it's number 8. 1, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, that's 8. And then there's all right, 3, 7. No, that's not 8. Hold on a second. I was also doing predestination. So I got a lot of stuff on predestination up here. 7, 8. There's 8. Okay. And I just want to look at this word here. This anesis means rest or liberty or to be at ease, or loosening or relaxing. And it comes from, we're not going to look at this too much, anemi. I guess I'm saying that right. Anemi. To loose or to forbear or to leave, to send back, relax. And let me get to this TDNT, Theological Dictionary, because this is what we study. When we study a word, we got to go to the dictionary. The first thing we do is define a word, so that's what it is. And these letters here, TDNT, for the uninitiated, stand for Theological Dictionary of the New Testament. Not actually theological, but theological. Theological Dictionary of the New Testament. And this would be volume 1, and that would be page 367. So we're going to go to there. We're going to look at volume 1. I'm going to go to page 367. And if you have just the 2-volume set, it'll be on page 60 of your 2-volume set. But this 372, that's 367. Okay. I was going to go to the other one first, but we'll do this one. And the other one I was going to look at. Let me just put up those definitions real quick here. Let me get another box here. And it would be 373 and 372. 373. These are Strong's numbers. If you're unfamiliar with the numbers here, I throw out a lot of numbers. This would be a Strong's number 373 in the Greek, and 372. So 373 is this anapauao. And we looked at this when we looked at catapausis, catapauao, the 2663. I think I got it up here. We'll jump to that real quick. Here it is. This would be the one we studied this extensively a couple of weeks ago, catapausis, which means rest. And that's what we're talking about. We're in the rest. And Hebrews really covers this as far as the spiritual rest that we were talking about. So that's the catapausis, and the 2664 is the catapauao. So this word here, pauao, if I'm saying that right, pauao means to cease or to leave or to remain, and that's the suffix on this word. And it's kata and pau. It's 2 words. It's kata. We know kata. If you're familiar with the Greek study, kata is according to, or down with, or down through, like katabalo is throw the ball, or throw the ball down. Balo is ball, and this kata powwow. So that's, and we studied this extensively the past couple of weeks. All the verses in Hebrews about God resting and entering into His rest and all of that, and that's the spiritual rest, and we'll get into that hopefully a little bit later. But this is other couple of words that I wanted to get to. So that's the suffix, the powwow, and this last one here, it's anapowwow, to make or to refresh, and did a real quick read on this. It just means like to cause to cease with something, to give someone rest, to refresh someone, to rest from something, to remain at rest. And there's this one verse they talked about in the Septuagint, which is the Greek Old Testament. The Greek translation of the Old Testament is the Septuagint. If you ever see the words LLXX, that means 70, and that's the Septuagint. But there's this verse, Isaiah 11:2. It talks about, and the Spirit of the Lord shall rest upon him, the Spirit of wisdom and understanding, the Spirit of counsel and might, the Spirit of knowledge, and the fear of the Lord. And basically it's talking about Jesus, and the Spirit of the Lord shall rest. And we studied a couple of weeks back. This is the nuach. This is the rest of, there's a couple of different words here. We got nuah, nahat, Noah. Noah means rest, right? Because he gave his people rest. So that's part of his word here, Noah. And then Manoah is a resting place, and we know Manoah. Then the king made a great feast unto all his princes and his servants, even Esther's feast, and he made a release to the provinces and gave gifts according to the state of the king. So the resting place. And we studied this already. I'm not going to go through all of this, but every once in a while I just got to keep reminding myself that we did this already. But this is a good verse here. And also that would be like a synonymous word. Like if you were to throw this 373 and 372 and go back into the Septuagint, most likely you'll come up with this number a lot, 5117, to nuach, to rest, to lay down. So that's a good verse, 11:2. Isaiah, to rest on. So in the New Testament, anapowwow sometimes means corporal rest in the usual sense, as in Matthew 6:31. Was it Matthew? Mark 6:31. He says, and he said unto them, come ye yourselves apart into a desert place and rest a while, for there were many coming and going, and they had no leisure so much as to eat. And Mark 14:41, he says, and he cometh the third time and saith unto them, sleep now and take your rest. It is enough. The hour is come. Behold, the Son of Man is betrayed into the hands of sinners. And I'm going to go through all of these, but there are some good ones. The Philemon, and in Revelation, it is used in relation to the hereafter. And you'll see in Revelation 14:13, he says, and I heard a voice from heaven saying unto me, write, blessed are the dead which die in the Lord from henceforth. Yea, saith the Spirit, that they may rest from their labors, and their works do follow them. So this is the rest that we're talking about. That's the eschatological rest. That's the future rest. And then 6:11, he says, and white robes were given unto every one of them, and it was said unto them that they should rest yet for a little season until their fellow servants also and their brethren that should be killed as they were should be fulfilled. So this is what we're waiting for. Waiting for everybody to come in. And we're resting. And the ones that were killed for the word, they're resting. I believe they're sleeping, like just like Lazarus was in the tomb for 4 days, 4 nights. He was sleeping. He was resting. He didn't go to be with the Lord, He didn't go to heaven or hell. He rested. He slept until Jesus resurrected him. So in 1 Peter 4:14, if you be reproached for the name of Christ, happy are ye, for the spirit of glory of God resteth upon you. On their part, he is evil spoken of, but on your part, he is glorified. And you can see that there's a couple of different rests when they talk about resting. You know, the saints rest, and there's also these saints who talks about. I saw the verse. I'm trying to think of what the verse was in Revelation, where we'll run across it because I got it in my notes, where they rest not day and night. And we'll come into it. We'll run into it on this. Let me see. So and Matthew 11:28 and 29, I bolted them together. As you can see, you got Matthew 11:28 here. It says, "Come unto me, all ye that labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you," in 29, "and learn of me, for I am meek and lowly in heart, and you shall find rest unto your souls." So you got both of the words here. You got the verb anapao, which is rest, and then you over here you got the feminine noun anapausis, which is the rest. It's an intermission or a cessation. So this is the word comprehends the whole saving work of Jesus, and that's what he is. When he says, "Take my yoke," for it's light, the burden. I will give you rest. He's not saying that you won't have a burden. He's just going to say it'll be lighter if you're doing it. My yoke. The yoke is still a yoke. I got the yoke here. Is the zugos. It's a pair of balances. It's a yoke. So you're still dragging something. You still got something on your back. You're still laboring, but he's going to give you the rest because he says, "My burden is light." And then anapausis is a cessation or a interruption, a rest, a promise to the disciples of wisdom. We're going to get into that in the. I'm not going to get into that. That's that. Okay, day of rest. No. So in place of the rest promised to the Jewish people of wisdom, that's in Matthew 28, and we take it out of context, but we know, "Come unto me, all ye that labor and are heavy laden, I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn of me, for I am meek and lowly in heart, and you shall find rest unto your souls." Why? Because my yoke is easy and my burden is light. It's still a yoke and it's still a burden, but it's light. It's still a zugos, and it's still a burden. Fortion. I had that marked off in a book here somewhere too. I'll run into that. That's why it just popped into my head now. So it's still, but it's a burden. But it's light. So this rest, to this rest are invited, who in truth have found in Judaism only a burden, and it was a burden, in the past. We couldn't keep that. You just look at Nadab and Abihu. How can they keep the law? They died because they couldn't do it. And the circumcision, the physical circumcision, and the physical baptism and washing and all of we can't keep it. We can't. So it's a burden, but he's doing it now and he's making it light. So in Revelation 4:8, he says, this is talking about the four beasts. Each of them had 6 wings around about them. They were full of eyes within. That's wisdom. The 6 wings means they go fast, and they rest not day and night, saying, "Holy, holy, holy, Lord God Almighty, which was and is to come." So that's a good, not rest. They rest not day and night. Okay, but this other rest here in 14:11. So that means without cessation. So they rest not day and night. So without cessation, they glorify God. And then here in 14:11, it talks about another type of rest, where it says, "And the smoke of their torment ascended up forever and ever, and they had no rest day nor night, who worship the beast, and that's not the same beast. We'll show you that. Worship the beast in his image, and whosoever receiveth the mark of his name. So there is no rest there, and this no rest here is good because they're praising God, holy, holy, holy. But this no rest is a torment. Say so, and when you see the beast here in the four beasts, this you can see the difference between when you're looking up the beast. The four beasts around the throne are the Zun, and what's that? That's a living being, and it comes from Zeo, which means to live, or to live, to breathe, to be alive. That's Zeo, okay? But the beast, we know the beast in the other beast is the Totharion, and it's different. That's a neutral. Where is it? Worship the beast. There it is. 2342. Therion. That's a neuter noun. Okay, and this beast here is also a neuter noun, but it's the live beast. It's the good beast. You got the good beast and the bad beast. So the Therion is the bad one, and the Zun is the one with life. It's the good one. So the four beasts rest not in worship, and those who receive the mark rest not. And we know that Isaiah. I looked at Isaiah 11 and 2 already. That's speaking of Christ. And there's another word here. I forget the number. I think it's 1879. 1879 has to do with this. Yeah, rest. And it's ep anapauai. So you're putting the epi in front of the pauamai. So it's epi, which means on, and anapuo. So it's epi anapauau. And we know ana is just another prefix here. It means by or in the midst of. And of course, the powwow means to rest. So it's epi ana powwow. You got two of them, two prefixes, and the other one, and the stem word there. And this is where I got the 11 and 2 from, because when you put this back into the Septuagint, you get this, 1879. Greek Old Testament. I'm sorry, I got the wrong thing here. Never mind. I'm not going to go there. Forget it. All right. That's just too much. I can't be jumping all over the place like this with you guys. Here we go. All right. Lost my spot here. That's it. And the 372. Okay. And now this 425, anesis. We're going to look at that real quick. Anesis. This is also in the Theological Dictionary. Starting on page 367, enemy and anesis. It just means a relaxation of tension. So it's a true sense of to release or to loose, like setting somebody free. And I got this. What is this here? Acts 3:17. Why is this up here? I don't know. Let me close this. All right. 425. 425 is, let's look at it. I don't know if we looked at it yet. Anesis, rest, liberty, to be at ease. And 447 is anemi, which means to loose or to forbear or to leave. And we got the juxtaposition between what we just looked at, the anapausis and the anesis, which we're going to look at now. He says both words in a certain sense mean rest, but from different standpoints. Anapausis, the one we just looked at, is rest which comes by cessation from labor, which may be simply temporary. And anesis, we're going to look at, means literally the relaxation of strings which have been drawn tight. Hence, it is used to designate ease, especially that which comes by relaxation of unfavorable conditions of any kind, such as affliction. So, and there's a few verses. We'll just get into these a little bit here. So Acts 16:26. Why would they do this? Acts 16, maybe that's what I had up there for. Acts 16, 26. And suddenly there was a great earthquake, so that the foundations of the prison were shaken, and immediately the doors were opened and everyone's bands were loosed. Okay, and this loosed is 447. Okay, that's enemy. So that's what happens when they were let out of prison. So you're out of Palake there, out of prison. And 2740, 27. Maybe I should just put the number up here. Hold on, 447. There we go, 2740. And when they had taken up the anchors, they committed themselves into the sea and loosed the rudder bands and hoisted up the mainsail to the wind and made toward shore. So these are just some of the synonyms that I got for rest, but there are some good verses in here that have to do with a rest that we're looking to study here. So this is the spiritual rest. So that's Liberty, 403. And in 319, that's why I had that up there. Acts 3:19. Acts 3. It says 3:20. If you got the book, it says Acts 3:20. Let me see. In the last passage, we might speak of an eschatological significance. Anytime I see that word, I hop on it. Eschatological. We know what eschatology is, the study of end times. Echo is the hold, and that's the last. That's the end. The last time is the eschatos. Eschatological significance compared to anesis and anaposis, and that's in Acts 3:19. It says 3:20, but it's 3:19. Here we go. Repent ye therefore and be converted, that your sins may be blotted out, when the times of refreshing shall come from the presence of the Lord. So the times of refreshing, and that's this word refreshing here, is anapsuxis, refreshing. And that's eschatological. That's the end times. And then it's